Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. Joaquin Navarro-Valls is being remembered today for his close relationship with Pope John Paul II and for helping to lead a quiet revolution at the Vatican. The former papal spokesman died yesterday after a long illness.
He was a journalist, yes, but also, he was a churchman. We knew that and we appreciated it.
Joaquin Navarro-Valls was the first journalist to become chief Vatican spokesman, a post he served for more than 2 decades. Mario Biasetti is executive producer of Fox News in Rome and worked with Navarro while covering the Vatican. Biasetti spoke to EWTN about Navarro's love for his job and the church.
He made sure that always what he did, what he said, was in conjunction with the doctrine of the faith.
Navarro was fiercely loyal to St. John Paul II. He accompanied the Polish Pope on most of his 104 international trips. Known for his coolness and restraint, Navarro nearly broke into tears when John Paul was dying in April 2005.
E pertanto sono gravissime. Dall'alba di oggi, questa mattina,
he also announced the death of the now saint.
The Holy Father, John Paul II, died this evening at 9:37 in his private apartment.
In an interview with EWTN shortly before John Paul's canonization, Navarro told us what he thought when he found out his former boss would become a saint.
My reaction was to tell him, once again, thank you, John Paul II, for the masterpiece that you made of your life and that those of us who were close to you were able to see.
After John Paul died, Navarro remained a spokesman for 15 months with the new pope, Benedict XVI. The medical doctor turned journalist passed away yesterday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. He was remembered today at a church in Rome. Joaquin Navarro-Valls was 80 years old. Father Federico Lombardi, a Jesuit, replaced Navarro in 2006. Lombardi retired last year. Greg Burke, an American journalist, is now the head of the Vatican press office. We're happy now to welcome Greg Burke to the program, coming to us from Rome. Greg, before working for the Vatican, you covered the beat for Fox News and Time Magazine. You worked closely with Joaquin Navarro-Valls. What are some of your memories of him?
I think I remember Wyatt specifically a couple moments. One was 1994 with the conference, the UN conference in Cairo on population. And Navarro really taking a role which was much more than a spokesman. It was really almost a Vatican diplomatic role in that. I'd say really a lead role in what was really a clash of worldviews. And it was interesting to see him take that forward, I would say defending the faith, but not in a defensive way. He was really sort of leading the fight there, and it made a difference.
Can you tell us about the relationship he had with Pope John Paul II?
Well, it was clearly a really close relationship. Another thing I remember, and I guess the moment when I got to know Navarro-Valls a little better, was when Time Magazine made John Paul II Man of the Year. So we were negotiating a lot of different things. We wanted an interview. In the end, there was no interview. But there was a moment where a number of the editors came through from New York to meet John Paul II, and standing up after an audience, it was just them. And the Pope talking, and it was interesting. You could tell they had a very, very good relationship there. I tweeted out yesterday a photo of the Pope and John Paul II smiling together, saying, Navarro, keep smiling. But I actually took that quote from John Paul II from that day, because as it was ending up, this little meeting with the editors, Navarro was off to the side, but obviously pretty happy at how things had gone, and John Paul looked at him and said in English, keep smiling.
When you joined the Vatican, did Navarro give you any advice?
He did. He basically, it was funny though, because it was less professional. You know, times had obviously changed from when I came and from when he had started. I remember telling him one day, I said, when you started here, the leading technology was a fax machine, and now people are asking, what's a fax? Now, to his credit, he lived through the fax to the age of the internet. But the advice really that I understood from him was more personal than professional. It was like, don't neglect your interior life. Make sure you pray. You'll need it in this job.
Good idea. Prayer is always important. Greg Burke, Director of the Holy See Press Office, thanks so much for telling us about Navarro.
Thank you, Wyatt.